What's going on, everybody? Today I'm going to bring Kyr on the channel to talk about what we like about class changing and what classes we are interested in and how you all can decide what class I'm going to be picking next. So be sure to stick around to the end of the video and we'll jump right into it. All right, so I got Kyr here. We're going to talk about some classes and potential class changes. I'm honestly a little nervous and also a little excited to see how this is going to turn out. Be sure to stick around to the end to check out where to vote. But I don't know. Do you have a specific class yourself, Kyr, that you've been relatively excited about or that you want to try out?
Yeah, actually quite a few. I think pretty much all of them. You know, I've already done Barbarian, so I don't want to go there. And I am really excited for Wizard or Necro, in my opinion. Ooh. But I want to kind of hold off on them because how the set items work for strength, intelligence, whatever. So I want to go through and cycle through all the strength classes first and then go to those two classes, but I think those are going to be really fun. And Monk also sounds pretty fun too. It sounds unique and a little different. So when I finally go to Monk, that would actually be pretty fun too.
Yeah, that's definitely the logical way. I just went for pure fun aspect. I swapped Crusader to Wizard. Okay. I've been waiting for Wizard for so long. I think the only class I don't want to play actually is Necro. So people watching this video, they're going to be like, okay, well, we got to make sure we get him on Necro or whatever. But, oh, man.
Or is this reverse psychology?
Yeah,
that's
there you
actually his biggest class that he wants to play.
I'm mixed feelings about Necro, honestly. It's the class that I had least amount of interest in playing, and I still kind of do. But I'm also very curious about the summons. I don't know if you feel the same way. Like, I really want to see those in action.
I feel like that's the class with the most amount of build options. Like, you can be CC only, you can be, do all these different summon builds or whatever. Like, there's a lot of, but also at the same time, it takes a ton of legendaries. Like, I feel like I need to have enough time to farm a ton because the amount of legendary essences we're going to need is like the whole thing to actually really fully experience it. But other than that, like, I think there's a lot of fun potential there. Like, we need to farm a lot of dungeons because there's a lot of different sets we would want to have with it, but then also a lot of legendary essence too. Then once you actually have it ready to go, I think it's going to be an awesome class to try out. It's just a big commitment. Like, I'm already almost done with the Demon Hunter. We got Paragon 150 coming up. We're going to have access to all the different set items there. So I want to fully try that before I do another full pivot over to Necro. But it does look exciting.
So I believe Monk is a strength class. So then you're going to go Monk or Crusader next?
I'm thinking Monk. I think Monk sounds way more fun. Even though Crusader, I am curious about Crusader. Something about it doesn't seem that exciting to me, but at the same time, there's other parts of it. Like, I'm going to get into parties probably a lot better. I'm going to have Banner. Yeah. That's going to be pretty fire. Maybe, you know what, maybe 4D chess here, because Hellforce coming up, we are going to want to farm a lot of dungeons. Maybe I switch to Crusader as we farm all these dungeons. Then I switch back to the class I actually want to be. Yeah. So there it is.
You use Satyr, farm your dungeons, move to Monk, benefit from all your farming. I think that's the 900 IQ. Actually, you know what? My wife class changed from Demon Hunter to Crusader. As soon as I class changed off, she's like, you know what? I got to get you a banner. So I'll swap to Crusader. You got Wizard. So she's been my pocket banner for recent times. So
fire.
Yeah, it's actually so good. So I completely agree with that assessment. Right now is just go Satyr so I have more Satyrs to run. Because when I was a Satyr, no problems. But now it's actually a struggle. So I feel it. Like I feel the no banner. It's miserable.
It's rough. Okay, so it sounds like you don't really care besides you've already been Crusader, so you can't pick Crusader. You don't want to be Necro. What are you most excited about?
So I will say I've played a decent amount of Demon Hunter and Monk. I haven't really messed around with the Demon Hunter builds or the Monk builds yet, so I still have a lot of exploration to do, at least personally. Honestly, Barb might be the one I'm most excited to try. Just because I see the numbers, I see the reality, and I've heard the opinions of you, of Darth, of a bunch of other Barbs in our clan, all the people that swapped off and were like, screw Barb. I want to go in head first and just massively try hard on Barb and really feel the full extent of how miserable it is, or just, I want to spin a little bit. I want to try it out.
No, I feel it. Like, and so it's, I think, especially now with class change and all the people changing off of it, it might have gone a little, overcorrected or over feeling that it's like a bad class or whatever. Maybe it's not as bad as people are making it out to be. I think there's a lot of people that still enjoy the class, so it's not like this completely super F tier class. I think a lot of barbs are just being dramatic about it. And kind of, I think what it is too is it's like you're kind of pigeonholed in there, so it's like it just kind of feels extra bad to be it. But at the same time, I think they're kind of fun, like, so you can try it out if you're going in now with the expectation of like really trying to push stuff, but just try out and have fun with the builds. It could be fun. You got a lot of options there.
Yeah, I'm particularly excited. As you're saying, I'm gonna have to swap from intelligence to a strength class, but the issue I'm having is like one of the most fun aspects, and I think you can kind of agree with this as a barb player yourself. I really want to run an Isatar set and then just open world farm like that. Just run in circles and just have fun. Just literally run in circles. It really
you
just
can be
fully...
Tom Cruise.
Yeah,
it'd be sick. You're just running everywhere. It would be like that. There it is. There's a title for a video: Tom Cruise barbarian build, and then you just run constantly around the map super fast. We could do a race and see what the fastest class is.
Oh, I did a little bit of that. I've raced the wizard, I've raced the monk, and I've raced the barb. So far, not the demon hunter. I just feel like they're gonna be screwed over anyways. As the crusader, the crusader won every single time. If you went full movement on all classes, Satyr wins every time. I think.
Because I'm surprised because barb has 4 movement options. Like they designated so many moves for a barbarian are just to jump. Either sprint, jump, leap, whatever. Yeah. So.
Furious charge, sprint. You got so many different options.
Yeah. But there is fun builds. I was just thinking about, like, I really like this the minion build. You can do that for single target damage. You could do the grab barbarian where you like grab someone and like take him in.
That is something I've not seen in PvP yet. I've literally never seen a barbarian grab me. Why has that not happened yet?
I think it's just miserable to run through 8 other people. Okay. I think grab would be a very popular move. If it was like 2v2 or 3v3, like that's the issue with barb is like because we're stuck in an 8v8, barb is not great. But if there was ever a 2v2 matchmaking or a 3v3, I think barb we wouldn't have this same opinion of barb. I think we would all be thinking like, oh man, barbs are really really tough to deal with because they're like skirmishers. They remind me of like Vayne from League, where they don't do good in the 5v5s, but they do good in the 2v2s and the 3v3s in there, and they do okay in those situations. So I don't want to.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that they're actually menaces in like the Rite of Exile, for example. But I'm still surprised that I've actually never seen the grab skill in action. Did you use it when you were playing the barb in PvP at all?
Yeah, I used it a little bit. I tried to make video on it. I couldn't really get it to go too well, but it's fun. It's fun though. What I would do is I made the entire build around just grabbing someone and trolling them. Mm-hmm. So it was like I would sprint in, have Undying Rage, grab them, run it back. It's kind of fun. You don't get how much time. You get like 2 seconds with them, and then you have to kind of worry about other CC and stuff like that hitting you. But when you finally pull it off, like you really screw them over. Like it actually makes it to where if you have your team there, like they're dead, like immediately dead, which I think is fun.
Yeah, I feel like if it wasn't such a choke point heavy game, picking up someone and throwing them into like a team deathmatch, for example, would be so insane.
It'd be busted.
Yeah.
I think it would be one of the best moves in the game. I think we'd be looking at barbs completely differently if we weren't only forced PvP wise into an 8v8.
Yeah, and I actually had the similar perspective to you, I think, because you picked barb because you thought they were going to be like a solid group carrier class. As far as I understand, you wanted to play the Demon Hunter. And I had the same thought process for the Crusader here. So my initial class, akin to my name, I would have played the Demon Hunter, honestly, is what I would have gone with. But after running the war bands and like getting everyone set up like before the game started, it was like, we need a Crusader. And granted, I'm glad I picked a Crusader because we would have been heavily, heavily disadvantaged. but I pretty much played it for the team. I ended up enjoying it, and it wasn't like a terrible experience. But I'm definitely having a way more fun experience with the Wizard.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, it's like Crusader is one of those unfortunate classes that some of these games have, where it's like they're too good to not have, so people kind of feel guilt tripped into having to play them. But usually they're not necessarily the most fun class, which is a bummer. It's like you want people to have fun, but at the same time, it's like, come on, we really need those Crusaders in here because we need that banner and we need that invincibility. But your job is literally to just press buttons while we go actually have the real fun of like popping off. So it's tough. It's like, I don't know. It's a bummer that usually there's always going to be that kind of class in the game somehow. But for free to play light spenders, it's nice to know that there's classes like the Crusader that exist where you can be really impactful and not spend all this money.
Yeah, I agree 100%. This is the type of player that's like, I enjoy this class because I know I'm getting value for my team, and that's the kind of player you got to be, which unfortunately I'm just not. I'm a selfish player. I'm going to go and run the teleport, jump into groups, and then mess around. I definitely like the range classes more heavily. So honestly, since I've played this game and I know what kind of goes into the day-to-day activities, I've much more I guess open to playing the Necro because it's simply ranged. Even though it's probably one I'm not like super particularly excited about, I think I will find myself enjoying it more than I think I will just because it's ranged.
Yeah. After going from Barb to Demon Hunter, it's not necessarily the Demon Hunter I'm happy with. It's the fact that I'm ranged and not melee anymore is what I'm so excited about. So it's a bummer that's I don't know. Well, do you know how to fix it? Like, because we complain about it a lot. Well, what would you say would be a way to buff melee to where it's like, okay, yes, you have like the melee attacks, but it makes it to where you're not picking range just because they're ranged over melee?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. If we're talking about PvP, I think that there's a little bit more of a solution because, I mean, there just needs to be a massive payoff. I think one thing that really needs to change, and if we go into the menu here, just in the skill menu, which is something that I actually decided to do the other day, and click on attack speed, it actually says skills. Like, it increases the speed of your skills. Like, it actually says it there.
Oh, interesting. Hey, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, I didn't notice that either until I looked the other day. And so, like, the fact that slows and stuff, like, slow down the skills that you have as a melee unit is just atrocious. Like, removing that. Like, just removing that. Like, removing the animation slows is, like, huge, especially for, like, if you're running shield charge on the Crusader, if you're running a dash on the Monk is even, you can, like, actively see it slower, or especially the Barb. I think the Barb is the one that actually gets affected by this the most. That is huge. And then just being able to kind of outplay your opponent. Like, if I'm sitting in a Bone Pillar, I can't outplay a Bone Pillar. It's not possible, okay? And then my animation slowed, so now I can't react because my animation slowed, I'm Bone Pillared, and then they have another one, 2 more, in fact, over the next 6 seconds. It's just like, I just can't play the game. Like, I have no proactive moves against it. I have no reactive moves against it. I basically have no outplay potential against these range classes, and I think that's what needs to change. And the same applies to the Wizard, too, because they have 2 screens away, which applies chill to you, which also reduces your movement speed and your skill speed and everything. So I think that that's one portion of it, and really just the thing I would kind of target the most is being able to react either with an exceptional dash, like a shield charge, and being able to just charge right on top of the enemies. But I think when it comes to like farming, it's not possible. Like when you're running in a circle, when you're ship farming or whatever you're doing, having a ranged class is just so much better. Like,
true.
It's so much better.
Day to day. Yeah, day to day quality of life is always going to be better as a ranged, especially like, at Demon Hunter, I'm just walking and shooting and I'm able to farm and drop AoEs at range that they clear enemies and stuff. And compared to how hands-on I had to be as a barbarian just to grind every day. So I can see that being an issue. But I think all those PvP points would be fantastic for actually making classes feel, like the melee classes feel good. I feel like having a diminishing return on CC, like I'm not used to games not having a diminishing return on CC. Like if you get knocked up strange. 5 times, like, you should be slowly getting knocked up less and less. But in this game, you'll just get CC'd until you die, which is a bummer.
Yeah, it's a little strange because the way they decided to balance it was like there's an internal cooldown for the CC. Like Bone Pillar has a 3-second cooldown where you can't knock up someone after until 3 seconds has passed. But it's like, that doesn't really matter a whole lot because it takes about 3 seconds for you to get out of the dang slow field. It's actually insane. You don't really want to use a lot of skills. And then I don't know about Barb. I don't know if they have any like ranged moves, but like in PvP for the Crusader, I might have run like Spinning Shield, which is a ranged projectile. I might have run a Sacred Chain. And the problem is like, not only can I not move, but the Bone Pillar blocks projectiles. And so like half my moves just get blocked. So I have to get around them first and then use my abilities, which I'm already slowed. It's all bad.
Yeah, the only thing I had was Furious Charge with the knockup, and then that gets blocked by Pillar. So I have to walk around and then dash on. But then I don't know if you had an attack speed steroid, but at least I had an attack speed steroid. So if I'm slowed, I can pop my attack speed steroid to get my animations back up, at least. But if I didn't have that up, you know, or if I'm running the crit version of it, then that wouldn't work. So I'm like super slow. My CC is now slower, so they're able to double dip on CCing me and making my retaliation worse. So I don't know. I don't want to get too caught up on this. Like, but it is an unfortunate reality being a melee class, and it makes it to where it's like not exciting to want to play him.
Yeah, so I think personally, at the end of the day, even though all that being said, I still actually want to try the Barbarian quite a bit. And I'm going to put you on blast here, as well as everyone else out there. If you want to vote on my personal class change, I will leave a link to it, a community post in the description, and I'll post it as a pinned comment. But for you, do you have a vote on which class you'd want to see me play?
Well, I think selfishly most interesting for me would be Barbarian, just because it would be nice to have that kind of shared experience of like we played the same classes. Like Darth just went Monk, so that's not really that interesting to have both of you on Monk. Also, I think another class would be Demon Hunter, because I'm playing Demon Hunter as well. It'd be kind of cool to see like what builds you come up with Demon Hunter. I would have said Necro, but like you absolutely don't want to be Necro. The last thing I would want you to have to play is the class that you don't want to play. Because I think the best one right now is Wizard, because I like to see people I'm talking to play the class I don't really know much about, and you're already on it. You're already on the Wizard class, so it's like cool that you picked that class, in my opinion. So if I had to choose either, Monk or Barbarian.
Okay. Yeah. I think it'd be interesting to go Barbarian myself too, from your point of view, as well, because I mean Darth played it, right? And he's one that we regularly talk to about all the Diablo Immortal stuff, and the guy absolutely hates it. If you haven't checked out his channel, the guy literally just won't play the game because he hates the Barb so much. And Kyra had played it for the first 2 months of the game. So like we have two opposite spectrums, and I feel like me jumping in there as a fellow content creator and checking out the Barb to like see these absolute polarizing views of the Barbarian would be interesting.
Well, I'm just saying class change really went a long way to making me like the game. It was kind of like copium, but like playing the Barb, and it's like it's not like I'm gonna change. I'm already too invested in the main one, especially if you spend any money in this game. So it's like that's not gonna happen. But at the same time, it'd be nice to be able to try these classes out. And then I go to Demon Hunter, and I'm like, okay, this is way more fun. Even though I was able to at least play the game, I don't just go off to a festival, like when I get a Barb.
Yeah, and I'll leave it on that note for sure. I've absolutely enjoyed the game so much more. Not even for the fact that like we can try out all the classes and make content on that, which is actually part of our fun in the game already, but also that it's just a change of pace. Like I'm sure most of the people out there can understand. You play the same game, literally for me, 8 to 12 hours a day, oftentimes more than that. That's like a little bit of a low ball here. I play the game so much that I was kind of sick of like pressing 4 for banner and then spamming 3 for my spinning shields. I really like the idea of experimenting a little bit. So that being said, where can we find you, Kyra, on YouTube, on Twitch?
YouTube, Kyra Mobile. You check me out there. I also make daily, more than daily, Diablo Immortal content. So appreciate that.
All right, check this guy out. This guy recently reached 20K subs for Diablo Immortal, so keep pushing him on up there. And we'll see you guys all later.
This guy's turn.
Oh, it's
Go
my turn.
Subscribe to this guy. Yeah, it's time. I think it's about time you hit 20K subs. We're gonna need everyone to subscribe in this video. He has good Diablo Immortal content. Go check him out.
Yeah. So you got 80% of you is what Kyre's talking about. I'm pretty sure. So
yeah. What the hell?
All right. Well, thanks, Kyre, and thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all for the next video.